Welcome all wrists. Here I have the Seiko SPB207. Now in the past I've done an impressions video on the watch, but after spending some time with it, I decided it would be a great time to do a review. Here are the specs. The watch has a diameter of 42 millimeters. It has a lug width of 20 millimeters, a lug to lug of 48 millimeters, a thickness of 12.5 millimeters. It is water resistant to 200 meters, as you can see on the dial there. It has a sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel insert. It has a 6R35 movement, so it's a workhorse movement, nothing too special, and an unsigned screw down crown. Now for me, the SPB207 was kind of like the gateway watch to divers with the crown at 4. It's a refreshing look from the usual 3 o'clock crown, and it isn't afraid to be different with its angular case design and brilliant green dial. Every time I look at this watch, I see one thing: a deep forest of luscious green leaves with a single ray of sunlight piercing through a thick canopy. The dial is such an amazing color, changing shades with the faintest movements, like leaves dancing in the wind, and the sunburst effect really emphasizes that gold second hand, where its brushed finishing contrasts against that sunburst dial, allowing it to pop in pretty much any lighting. Now the Lume is excellent, and I'll show you guys here. And what it reminds me of is like fireflies in the night against that dial. So it really ties in well. The case design, it's really magnificent, and it's so unique to Seiko. To me, the lugs resemble like blades of a katana, with its sharp angles and precise transition from brushed to a polished, honed edge. The case back, solid and stamped with the signature Seiko Prospex wave. Now the crown at 4, coupled with comfortable curved lugs, allows for a pleasant wearing experience. Combine this with the polishing that frames the case, you get a watch that kind of seems to defy its own dimensions. Now at 42 millimeters, this watch wears closer to a 14 millimeter. So on my 6.5 inch wrist, taking a look, it wears better than most of my watches. So here it is. I have a 6.5 inch wrist. Wraps so nicely. It just wears really well. Now, here it is next to a 41mm watch. side by side on the table. Here it is next to a 40mm watch. So you can see the design, the overall design really ties in well and makes it seem much smaller than it is on paper. So 40mm, 42. Just leave that here. I have another, here's another 40mm watch to compare it to. So you can really see how that design just helps it wear smaller. So here it is, guys. So again, the 41. And a 40. The way it effortlessly wraps around the wrist really provides a stable foundation to support its weight. You know, and I kind of like the weight. Makes it noticeable but comfortable because of how well it just sits on the wrist. Now I've worn this watch when swimming and exercising, and I've yet to experience any discomfort, and that 4 o'clock crown really helps. So see, I can like bend my wrist and the crown doesn't dig in. It really helps with the wearability. And you've probably heard it a million times, but guys, it really does wear much smaller than it presents on paper. You know, I was actually really surprised at how well it wears. It's truly mind-blowing how Seiko pulled this off. Now, in terms of accuracy, this watch, well, for me, it pretty much runs perfectly. Don't expect any detailed calculations. You know, I base the accuracy of my watches on personal wearing experience without time measurement devices. The only time I ever have to adjust the time on this watch is when I put it down to wear another. And the longest time I've worn it was pretty much daily for a month and never had to adjust it in that month. But usually it would be worn for about a week and then rotated for another watch. Now the bracelet continues that angular design of the case. So if you see those mid links there, they showcase a blocky mid link with polished accents as well, which creates a cohesive flow and flare to a traditional 3-link bracelet. Now the clasp features micro adjust and a diver's extension right here. So here it is. Okay. Now it can be deployed with one hand. It can be deployed with one hand, but it can be quite difficult. So in order to do that, what you'll have to do is you'd have to undo the clasp, put your thumb here, and you'd have to really press down hard. And guys, it can be really difficult. But with two hands, it's pretty easy. You just put your thumb here, pop it out, okay? And it'll come out like this, and you can just fold it back. So guys, overall, the Seiko SPB207 it's a great piece to have. Has that unique Seiko design. Great dial with a great second hand. Keeps great time. Wears comfortably. And you don't really need to worry if you take it in the water or exercise. Overall, a really great watch. And I have to say, for the amount you pay, it's a pretty good deal. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe for more watch content. I'll see you in the next video.